The National Theatre, an architectural masterpiece and a cultural landmark located at Igomu in the heart of Lagos, is unique due to the glorious heritage attached to it. Built in the 70s by the Gowon administration, the magnificent edifice covering an area of about 23,000 square meters and standing well over 31 meters tall was established for the preservation, presentation and promotion of arts and culture in Nigeria. However, aside from the pioneer administration, most administrations who have managed the activities of the National Theatre have been accused of not effectively utilizing the various facilities available for theatrical performances and thus not being able to realize the full potential of profit maximization. TVC News Third Eye in today's episode takes a critical look at the National Theatre of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Aremo Tope Babayemi.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you again.
Yeah. Nigeria's National Theatre. Is it still a national pride?
Not at all, but before I go on, I'd like to congratulate you and TVC for responsive journalism. If policymakers had access to this kind of programs, perhaps they'd be better informed when they're making policies and making decisions. But back to your question, the National Theatre, not by any stretch of the imagination, definitely no longer the national pride that it was established to be.
Why do you say that?
Because it's not delivering on the objectives for which it was established. Quickly, when you hear a promoter, when anybody tells you they're a promoter, there are only two types of promoters. There's the independent promoter and there's a venue-based promoter. So art centers, cultural centers, they're in effect venue-based promoters. So the National Theatre, in effect, is our premier venue-based promotion agency. And they're not promoting culture the way it should be, not the classical stuff, not new work, not new productions. If anything, I challenge the management of the National Theatre to fault me if I tell them that 70 to 80% of the program content is non-art based. A lot of wedding receptions go on there, a lot of church services go on in there, training courses and the rest of it. I don't see programs for theater, programs for dance. There are two exhibition halls that are probably the largest exhibition spaces in the country. Purpose-built, federal government purpose-built, a lot of money. There's been no exhibition there for 20 years or more. Yeah? Those exhibition spaces are used for wedding receptions. And there are countless visual artists all over the country looking for space to exhibit their work. So you get Victoria Island, where the largest percentage of disposable income for the arts is in Lagos. You see VI, Ikoyi, new galleries are springing up every day. Nowhere in comparison to what the federal government has established for the industry, but those small galleries are well run, better managed, so the visual artists go there. But if you go to the National Theatre and you want to put on an exhibition, they'll be telling you to pay for diesel. They'll be telling you it's just not well run.
Okay, but initially, I understand that the National Theatre came into existence based on the fact that we had Festival of Arts and Culture, Festac,
yes,
which was well hosted.
Absolutely.
Which had a lot of theatrical performances, things that really projected the image of Africa. Will you say that, okay, if we trace it from that period, will you say that it was well managed, that it was a national pride as at that point?
At the beginning, of course
it was. Or it got to a point, then it stopped being a national pride?
That is the case. When it was established, standards were maintained. Standards that were globally acceptable. films that showed in the States, in the UK, by the end of the week was showing at the National Theatre. That was when Garba Shiwaji was running it, because there was arrangements with some International Pilots Association and some movies, Hollywood distribution thing that the National Theatre tapped into. So what people saw abroad, we saw here in a week. Those who are old enough will remember all them Car Wash and all of them. It all happened there.
So don't you think that it's not necessarily the managerial problem, but from the point of view of the institution that created it? Because we know they are under the Federal Ministry of
Culture and Tourism.
So will you say it is from the top, not just from the managerial aspect?
Oh, of course, it's from the top.
Because if it is from the top, definitely the top will dictate.
Oh, absolutely.
To the headship, how they're going to run it, how they will not
absolutely.
run it.
If thinking is not clear about what is to be achieved and what skills are required to achieve those objectives, then things will go wrong. You're right. It is from the top. They keep making wrong appointments. If you give a plumber an electrician's job, somebody's going to get electrocuted. I'm disgusted that it is when it comes to the arts and culture in Nigeria that government displays a kind of nonchalant attitude. They bring non-professionals, they bring political appointments. They bring political appointments into positions that require the highest level of professionalism. Failure is the answer. Nobody should run the National Theatre, should be allowed to run the National Theatre without acceptable specialized skills. Specialized skills of programming, of cultural programming, specialized skills of fundraising and resource mobilization. What you have now is you get political appointments going there. Government gives you 200 million, 100 million a year as capital budget. 90% of your budget from government, subsidy, goes on salaries and wages that are unproductive, a bloated workforce. The arts will suffer. You'll be worshiping the place as if it's just to pay salaries. And you'll get directors and managers and all of that. What is their level of productivity? How measurable and against what yardsticks are you measuring their productivity? So, yeah, you're right. It's from the top. The wrong appointments. And when they get there, you are what you know. So when you put a man there who doesn't know how to engage with the arts community, who doesn't know how to program cultural activity, who doesn't know how to build a program, say, this 3 months, this is what the National Theatre is doing across all art forms in all media.
Popular saying, anyway, that the arts, especially theatre, is an all-comers affair. That you don't necessarily need to go to school to study theatre arts before you become a fantastic actor. So in the practice of the arts, what you need more is talent. What you need more is you having that gift and then you start exhibiting it.
I completely disagree.
Okay.
I completely disagree. All of those people who have not gone to school, who have not acquired certified skills. When I say certified, that means you got a qualification for it. They are amateurs. They have talent. My grandmother can dance, a great dancer, but she's not professional. I don't expect her to build a house, buy cars, and do things like a professional would do, earning a living from dance, even though she's got talent and she's all of that. And that's where it's at. And that's one of the greatest challenges that government has to confront. You got to separate it. At the level of the amateur, the black man can dance. Everybody's got rhythm. You can do it. At the level of the professional, you must have certified skills. Typical example, I have a friend who is a lawyer. He's a lawyer. And the way Nigeria is now, you'll see some producer in Nollywood say, oh, I'm doing a soap. Come and act the part of her. And when my friend hears me moaning about professionalism, he tells me, hey, when he wants to rile me, make me angry, he'll come and say, hey, Babati, I'm an actor. And I'm saying, no, you are not. I've known you all your life to be a lawyer. Maybe you do some music, but you are not an actor. I say, oh, check, so and so. Every Thursday, I'm on air. And I'm like, And he tells me, if you want to be like me, go and wear a lawyer's wig and go to Ikeja High Court on Monday and say you're a lawyer. See if you'll not be arrested. So we need to professionalize the arts.
Okay, when Hubert Ogunde was running the National Theatre,
Yes.
was he a certified thespian in terms of studying theatre arts? Because I know he came from the point of view of someone who understands culture and tradition.
Yes, it's not just Hubert Ogunde. There's a whole tradition. There's a tradition. We have a very proud tradition of traditional local theatre. We've got Ogumola, Duroladipo, that's around the southwest.
Yes.
I'm sure in other parts of the country, the age of the traveling theatre, that was part of society. One of the reasons that society has gone...
But did Hubert Ogunde, when he was running the National Theatre,
You see...
did he do it well?
Oh, he did it very... National Troupe of Nigeria,
Oh,
he did
yes.
it fantastically. You see, Nigerian arts and culture has gone through evolution.
Okay.
It was the generation of the Wole Soyinkas. My father was a professor of history before he became traditional ruler and brought Obakoso to Institute of African Studies. Late 60s, early 70s. So we were seeing the town and gown thing. We were seeing academia going to bring them Duroladipo, them Ogumola, them Ogunde into the formality of it. Now, what happened was that the generation of the Soyinkas, the Cyprian Ekwensis, and others, Mrs. Emmanuel, Mabel Shegun, that generation, what they did was to give legitimacy to the arts. Before them, if your child said they were going to do theater arts, you were worried. If they were going to do music, you were worried. That generation helped us to legitimize the fact that, say, there's a profession in the arts and culture. Now, they've done their bit. They were the ones that brought those people in. They've done their bit. Nigeria has moved on. What we need now is not professional legitimacy. What we need now is commercial legitimacy. That the artist is able to earn a living from his art like any other professional in the Nigerian economy. Like a medical doctor, like a lawyer, like anybody. Are you with me? That's where we've got to move on to now. That's why institutions like the National Theatre have to wake up to global development. That's why the policymakers at the center have to wake up to the concept of a creative economy. Are you with me? It's not just a play thing. It is a huge contribution to development politically, economically. Look at a place like Lagos. Lagos is the cultural capital of Nigeria. Nobody's done any cultural mapping, so we don't know how much the arts and culture contribute to the GDP. And a lot of money is being made and the rest of it. Until we have those statistics, we will not get the arguments, the facts, to be able to face government to say, hey, the arts and culture, we contributed 20% to Lagos GDP last year. We won this art center in that place. We won that in that place. The facts are not there. The statistics are not there.
Welcome back to Third Eye. I know Professor Ahmed Yerima.
Yes.
At the point, he was running the National Theatre.
Yes.
At the point, there was this National Troupe, National Theatre.
Yes.
What's the difference between the two?
I think the best thing that ever happened to those institutions was when they were merged under Yerima. But like everything in Nigeria, it was politicized. So after him, I think they reverted back to...
But during that period that it was made under Ahmed Yerima, we had plays. There were plays going on.
I think Yerima was one of the best, probably followed by Oshofison. Yeah. Reason being, they came out of academia, so they understood the issues. The man that they put there now, to me, is nothing but a political appointment, doesn't know his onions, doesn't know where to start. So he plays politics with the national monument. And hundreds of thousands of practitioners whose livelihoods depend on what should be happening there are all at risk. Yerima.
But during Yerima,
yes,
that was what so many people said. Even Professor Femi Osofisson that you mentioned, people still talked that, look, the National Theatre was not well managed during that period. That was when it was leaking.
Okay, let me give you another insight. Every new DG that's coming to the National Theatre, first and foremost, focuses on the building. It's when they come in that you'll start seeing renovations. Where we would do this hall, lights, blah, blah. As a seasoned arts and culture manager with experience across continents, I look and I laugh. And I say, nah, where to chop money? You're talking about the physical structure. What about the content? You got 5 halls with empty seats. Somebody should be sacked. What's your job? Do you get what I'm saying? Facility, equipment, line, fallow. All of that is giving ground and creating opportunity, inefficiency, incompetence, mediocrity. So it came to a point, and that's my thing to the National Theatre of Nigeria. Is it still a thing of pride? No, it's an example of how Nigerians glorify mediocrity. That place is mediocre. Somebody runs the National Theatre of London. Somebody runs the Kennedy Center. One man. Because he has the specialized skills of cultural programming and fundraising, then the job goes on. There's program all the time. Anybody in town, there's program publicized. You can just pick a program and you look and say, oh, on such and such a date, I'm putting in my diary, I want to go see visual arts. Oh, I want to see dance. Oh, I want to see. So there's diversity in programming. There's access, arts access, not just to audiences.
Did we have that at the very beginning?
We did. Oh, we had that at the very beginning. I'm very proud to say, because when I left Muson Center as Deputy Chief Executive, I came into the Artist Village and established different aesthetics, arts and culture management. And I'm greatly honored and was very lucky that I managed to get Dr. Garuba Ashiwaju out of retirement to come and chair. So he's the pioneer chairman of my company. So that's been a great asset because it's provided me information